Well, today there will be practice. Now I will describe to you a little backstory. Recently, just a reminder, you remember the orange taste. You all remember for sure that words are words, right? I mean, I'm trying to describe as best as I can, so don't nitpick. The other day something happened to me. With me. It emerged in a completely spontaneous manner. I can't share all the intricate details just yet, but the reason I am telling you this now is to convey a bit the value of this practice. Because for about the last 1.5 days, I just engaged in very pure practice, not involving myself anyhow in what is happening in this world, so that there is absolutely no one left who has gotten involved in any way. And, practice is an incredibly priceless opportunity. When something occurs that completely and utterly shatters everything that exists, your entire world can collapse in a mere instant, as if it were all just pulled away. Everything that you ever did, all the things that happened simply vanish away, just like death does. And maybe you won't believe, and over there I must tell you, there's this incredible quantum earthquake occurring. So, in general, the essence is that literally a couple of days ago, everything was fine. I live, I share knowledge, we film, everything is great, everything is happening. And then bam, the moment unfolds this way. It unfolds in a manner that is truly incredible and unusual, as if some storm is passing. And just like that, in a moment, I have neither phone nor acquaintances. That's it, you become nobody. Among only unfamiliar people. That's it. And everything is located all together in one single space. Just unclear what is happening, why it is happening like this. And how it will go on, that is, will there be anything further? That's it. Just like that. It's as if you were pulled out and thrown into a completely different world with absolutely unfamiliar people and left with nothing. Literally, just literally one for one. As if you were someone there, but they just take you like this. Pull you out and toss you into another world. It's without warning, just a moment. And everything is taken from you. Everything is taken. You are taken, thrown into another world where you know no one. And what else is from where? You can't escape. And there's no understanding of what will happen next. Absolute uncertainty. Here it is. This situation has clearly emerged. It's evident there. Just how spontaneous it is and what lies ahead remains unknown. That is, it's turned off to the maximum. If here, to consider in real life, to look at all this, you need to look very closely, as I showed in one of the previous Zooms, to look very closely at how each phenomenon arises. In our everyday lives, we have a strong impression that we're influencing situations, but then a series of spontaneous events unfolds that you simply do not have any impact on whatsoever. Something happens without any clear reason, and you find that you do not have any influence over it at all. It simply happens, and it remains unclear where exactly it is ultimately leading you. And it manifests itself at the maximum possible level. As soon as it arises, I understand that this is a snowstorm. Dunno, all the storms combined manifested in one moment. And I shift to the maximum. I shift to the maximum into presence, because I don't engage, don't resist at all to anything that is happening. And what is happening, I already understand that it is happening. I cannot influence. I am physically, as a person, powerless. And I go then beyond this. Therefore, today I will tell you and try to convey the practice of presence without presence. I have realized over the last day, so to speak, how invaluable it is. Well, because when something significant is going to happen, when it seems like everything is going to collapse, I am confident that the practice of being present without being present will come to fruition, just as the essence of nature will inevitably manifest itself in your specific moment. And you will feel calm. You will feel incredibly calm, good, and you will be free. No matter where this can happen, even if you are within an enclosed space, you will be free from everything that surrounds you. You will find yourself free from what is currently taking place over there and other things as well. Here. I was sitting here, you see. A situation is happening. On one side, someone is shouting. You don't understand where it came from, why they are shouting. And on the other side, it's, and so on. And I just don't get involved. I shift as much as possible. I find myself simply completely disidentifying at an astonishingly swift pace. First, you step into the moment. Thoughts attack, you understand? There is horror happening. Just a lot of thoughts rushing. At great speed. The heart is racing. It's just. The body is storming. You shift, you overcome. That is, you need to. Whatever is happening. You need to shift and adjust as much as you can. I am telling you how I went through these experiences and what I did. And you step into presence, that is. You engage with the whole space in that moment, as much as possible. There are all sorts of thoughts. How was it there? And what about this? And how will that be? For example, I didn't even understand if I would have Zoom meetings with you today. That is, I would just tell 1,000 people that I would have Zooms with them. But I might not even hold them. That is, I might not even communicate with them. There's still a lot going on. And you just don't understand if it will happen. What about parents? Everything collapses. The ground disappears from under your feet, and you find yourself in a different universe. And you think, wow. And that's it. And at that moment, it becomes very clear how you decide nothing. How? Maybe, personal security. Perhaps we'll see. So everything is great. I'm sure this situation is wonderful. It was meant to be. And thanks to this situation, I'm giving you practice, explaining how invaluable it is and where it helps. That is. And so, when there are certain situations that arise, if it happens to be a scenario where you find yourself standing on the very brink of life and death, or perhaps on the edge of losing that essential sense of being completely free. So this practice will be incredibly helpful. That is, some emergency, super adrenaline situation, where you realize that everything is somehow collapsing, and here. So what I want to share is the story of how I manifested myself. What actually happened I can't tell you in detail yet. Right now various checks are ongoing, and all that. In general, we will find out soon. I will tell you a bit later, here. So, and here is the moment. Something is happening, and I shift. Internally, I will talk about the practice itself. So, firstly, I am focusing all of my attention on this very moment and what's happening now. I extract as much as possible from my mind, from the past. I focus completely here, where I am right now. Maximally. That is, everything that's here now, to the fullest. Next. Let's say, from the moment, there occurs what is called a release from all attachments, identification with the personality, with thoughts. Emotions. That is, complete disidentification. Thoughts attack, but you do not react at all. There's no one to react. Feelings, no matter what the thoughts are, they are very, very trying to touch someone. That is, they are very sensitive to the ego, thoughts. That is. And you understand that you do not react, because if you start reacting, the ego immediately feeds on this. And this starts to turn you inside out, and you need to. Do not react. And you are moving more and more towards your true nature. All sorts of thoughts arise. There, all sorts. In general, they can sound different and so on, but at that moment, I fully understand that it all doesn't matter. Here is my moment, just right here and now. That's all there is. Whether I want it or not, here it is like this now. And that's it, and that's all. It really is so. So it's meant to be exactly like this. Everything is fine, and indeed it should be just like this. And that's why I am maximally disidentifying with thoughts, with the idea that I am someone, that I did something. You are maximally disidentifying. So, but it happens like this. You sit. And everything arises. And you don't react. And the longer this goes on, at some point you don't even feel your body. That is, there is the dissolution of the ego. Here. And, further. There simply occurs observation without judgment. So, there's the screen, and on the screen some events occurs. Something is happening around. Everything. It has become disconnected from you completely. At a certain moment I found myself quickly stepping into this practice. That is to say, due to the fact that I've done it many times. And I was generally present in this state. It definitely was with me. That is, I was present lightly. It is often visible that I conduct a broadcast or something else from this state. It manifests in me naturally. But there I, maximally deepened as much as possible, conditionally deepened, that is, it directly turns you on with the entire screen. It firmly, very strongly turns you on with the entire screen, all space. That's all. And the body is literally within you, and everything happens within you. And whether you are being hit, whether someone is shouting at you, it is not connected to you. That is, there's disidentification happening. That you are the entire screen, all space, and just in you these images, and it happens. That is, some sounds, something. And that is, the body is not felt at all, there. At one moment the body is simply not felt at all. That is, it no longer bothers. Right. I have disidentified with it. And that's it. And therefore, everything is just perceived impartially. Everything that happens is perceived impartially. Be it with this body, be it with other bodies, be it with others. It is simply perceived. Without expectation, there are no expectations at all. Consequently, there is no expectation of what should happen. Absolutely everything, there is no one to expect. This is a practice of presence without those present. I can definitely say that it naturally manifested and holds itself this way. And that's it. And everything happens there, and you understand that everything is given to God. And that's it. And how does it? And in this practice, just so you understand, I sat for a day. I just sat like this for a whole day. And then, also spontaneously, it all dissolves. All this madness, which was unclear how it appeared, how it would be, how it would manifest. And it just dissolved. And that's it, and here I am again. It's just incredible. It was precisely just like a storm that passed. Just in the moment of the storm, I maximally enter presence and do not resist. Whatever was happening there, I simply didn't react. I just did not react, and it passed. And here you are again. And you think, wow, it's just incredible. So if suddenly in your life a storm, a moment arises that troubles you inside, when you start to become angry, it may not be as intense or profound in your life as it has been for me during this time. I just understand that. The universe is checking how much I am a master, how much I have absorbed everything that I gathered, so to speak. I'm joking, of course, she doesn't check anything. I'm just saying. Here. And that's why. Yes, this is invaluable practice. There are moments when neither money nor anyone can help you. You have no phone, you have nothing. That's it, and you're nobody. I mean, no one knows you. This is super rare. The first time in my life such a moment happened. But conditionally, if you truly understand how you function at that moment, so, then, you really test yourself for strength at such moment. And a lot just happens. And that's it, and then you know. And after that, from the life of every person, I really understood that it happens. I mean, on one of those days, the next one doesn't come. For example, I had such an analogy that life didn't end. I really thought that. Let's say something like this could happen. And after that, the next moment comes,